Some people believe it's a gateway to the other side.
Portal 31 coal mine, deep in the rugged mountains of Lynch, Harlan County, Kentucky at 130 Main Street. Portal 31 coal mine stands as a haunting testament to the region's coal mining legacy. Opened in 1917 by the U.S. Coal and Coke Company, a subsidiary of U.S. Steel, this exhibition mine, now Kentucky's only underground mine tour, once powered the world's largest coal camp, housing 10,000 residents from 38 nationalities. Closed in 1963 after producing over 120 million tons of coal, it reopened in 2009 as a tourist attraction, offering 35-minute rail car tours through its dark tunnels. Beneath its historical exhibits and animatronic displays lies a chilling undercurrent of tragedy, labor strife, and restless spirits for a 50-plus audience drawn to Appalachia's gritty past and ghostly tales. Portal 31 delivers a spine-tingling descent into the heart of bloody Harlan. Portal 31 was the backbone of Lynch, a bustling coal camp built on 19,000 acres near the Virginia border. By the 1940s, it employed over 4,000 workers, but the cost was steep. Mining accidents claimed countless lives, with a black granite monument outside the mine honoring U.S. Steel District first miners who perished, though exact numbers are lost to time. The 1973 Brookside strike, documented in the Oscar-winning Harlan County, USA, exposed violent clashes between miners and strikebreakers, with gunfire and beatings scarring the region. Local lore, shared on Harlan County trails, tells of a miner crushed in a 1920s cave-in, his spirit trapped in the tunnels, and a young boy, possibly a breaker boy, killed in a coal cart accident. While these tales lack precise records, the mine's history of dangerous conditions, low ceilings, methane gas risks, and backbreaking labor lends credence to its haunted reputation. Portal 31's paranormal activity is as gripping as its history. Tour guides, like Devin Mefford, noted in a 2019 West Virginia Public Broadcasting report, describe visitors feeling an oppressive presence in the mine's depths, especially near the coal face where collapses occurred. EVPs captured by groups like the Eastern Kentucky Paranormal Society in 2023 include whispers of get out and a child's voice crying help. Visitors on the 35-minute tour, which uses man-trip cars and animatronic figures, report seeing shadowy miners in overalls, their carbide lamps flickering in the pitch-black tunnels, only to vanish. A 2024 TripAdvisor review recounted a guest camera capturing a misty figure near the mine's ventilating fan, despite no one being there. The lamp house, built in 1920, is a hotspot for activity, with reports of cold spots and tools moving on their own, as if ghostly miners still prepare for a shift. Outside, the Coal Tipple and L and N train depot, part of a walking tour with 35 historical signs, are said to emit disembodied footsteps and faint whistles at night. Some believe the spirits are tied to the diverse immigrant workers, Italian, Polish, Welsh, who faced exploitation and danger, their unrest lingering in the mine's pillars. The mine's $2.5 million renovation, completed in 2023, stirred activity, with workers reporting banging sounds and fleeting shadows as noted in a 1UMT report. Today, Portal 31 is a flagship attraction of the Kentucky Coal Museum in nearby Benham, offering tours Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. with bookings via 606-848-3131. Visitors don helmets and ride rail cars through the mine, learning about mechanization and union struggles via animatronic displays narrated by a fictional miner, Mike McKenzie. The site includes a gift shop with coal-themed souvenirs, a 1920s bathhouse, and a monument to United Mine Workers President John L. Lewis. Despite upgrades, a 2024 TripAdvisor review noted accessibility issues as the train was non-operational for some tours, requiring a 3-mile walk. The nearby Portal 31 RV Park offers 12 hookups and 8 primitive sites, making it a base for exploring Harlan County's trails and history. Visitors are urged to respect the site, no unsupervised entry, as the mine is a preserved historical landmark. Why it captivates. Portal 31's hauntings are anchored in its verified history-documented accidents, the Brookside strike, and the diverse lives of its workers provide a foundation for its ghostly lore. Paranormal reports, from EVPs to apparitions, are consistent across visitor accounts and investigations, adding authenticity. For those over 50, who value Appalachia's industrial past and its darker tales, the mine's blend of history and horror is irresistible. The shadowy figures and cries in the dark evoke the sacrifices of coal country, making every echo suspect. Book a tour, but hold tight to the rail car. The spirits of Portal 31 may still be working the night shift. Butler Turpin State Historic House. Perched atop a rolling hill at 1,608 KY-200 in 2007 in General Butler State. Resort Park, Carrollton, Kentucky. The Butler Turpin State Historic House is a Greek Revival masterpiece built in 1859. This brick mansion, with its 8 large rooms, wide halls, and original woodwork, was home to Major Thomas Langford Butler, a War of 1812 hero. and his daughter Mary Eleanor Butler and her husband Philip Turpin. Now a museum showcasing period furnishings and Butler family artifacts, including Thomas's 1809 promotion document signed by President James Madison. The house offers a glimpse into Kentucky's frontier past. Yet, beneath its stately charm lies a chilling history of war, loss, and enslaved lives, making it a paranormal hotspot for a 50-plus audience drawn to military history and ghostly tales. This house delivers a haunting narrative that echoes through its halls. The Butler family's legacy began with Percival Butler, a Revolutionary War patriot who settled in Carroll County in 1785. His son, Major Thomas Langford Butler, aide to General Andrew Jackson during the War of 1812's Battle of New Orleans, built this home in 1859 on a 127 acres sold by his brother, General William Orlando Butler, a Mexican-American war hero and vice presidential candidate. Thomas lived here with Mary Eleanor, Philip Turpin, their 8 children, and 3 generations of enslaved individuals whose names are lost but whose presence is felt in the nearby slave cemetery. The Butlers emancipated their slaves before the Civil War, and many stayed as servants, but the house's role as a hub during turbulent times left a spiritual imprint. Mary Eleanor died in 1861. Just a year after moving in, and Thomas passed in 1880, their deaths adding to the home's tragic aura. Local lore, shared by Serious Paranormal in 2013. Whispers of a soldier, possibly Thomas, or a War of 1812 comrade who lingers in the house, tied to military relics like muskets and swords displayed inside. Another tale speaks of an enslaved woman who died tragically, perhaps during childbirth, her spirit bound to the summer kitchen. These stories, though unverified, align with the region's history of conflict and hardship, including Carrollton's proximity to the Ohio River, a border during the Civil War. The Butler Turpin State Historic House is alive with paranormal activity, as documented by Serious Paranormal during their 2013 to 2014 ghost tours. Investigators and visitors report EVPs capturing a man's voice saying soldier and a woman's faint cries in the summer kitchen where enslaved workers once toiled. A 2022 TripAdvisor review praised guide Paula's storytelling, but noted an eerie moment when a door slammed shut in an empty upstairs bedroom. Shadowy figures, dressed in period military uniforms or long dresses, are seen near the grand staircase or in the family cemetery, a short walk away, where weathered headstones mock Butler and enslaved graves. During October ghost tours, hosted by friends of Butler Turpin, visitors feel cold spots and hear footsteps pacing the attic, possibly tied to Thomas's restless spirit. A 2025 Kentucky Historic Travels account described a guest camera capturing a misty orb near a portrait of William Orlando Butler in the parlor, which vanished upon review. The summer kitchen is a hotspot, with reports of pots rattling and a heavy, sorrowful energy as if the enslaved woman's spirit lingers. The house's third-floor attic, with its low ceilings and dim lighting, evokes an oppressive feel, with some visitors reporting a sense of being watched. Today, the Butler Turpin House is a museum within General Butler State Resort Park, open by appointment for $5 ages 13 plus $3 ages 6 to 12, or free for children 5 and under. Tours booked via the lodge at 502-732-4384 or butlerturpintours@gmail.com. Last about an hour and highlight original features, fireplace mantles, wood floors, and a staircase alongside family heirlooms. The 791-acre park offers a lodge, cabins, camping, and trails like the 5.6-mile Butler Turpin Fossil Trail Loop, but the house's history is the start of restoration in 1990 and ongoing improvements, like period wallpapers, keep it pristine, as noted by Witcherly.com. Visitors are urged to respect the site, no after-hours entry, as it's a state-protected landmark. Why it captivates. The house's hauntings are grounded in its verified history, Thomas Butler's military service, Mary Eleanor's early death, and the enslaved lives documented in records. Paranormal evidence, from EVPs to apparitions, is bolstered by credible investigations like Serious Paranormal's, adding authenticity. For those over 50 who cherish military valor and historical depth, the Butler Turpin House blends frontier elegance with eerie intrigue. The spirits of soldiers and the enslaved seem to linger, their stories etched into the home's walls. Book a tour, but listen closely, the past may whisper back. Eastern Cemetery. Nestled at 641 Baxter Avenue in Louisville's Highlands neighborhood, Eastern Cemetery is a haunting 28-acre relic of the city's past, abutting the pristine Cave Hill Cemetery. Established in the 1840s by 2 Methodist Episcopal churches, it's one of Louisville's oldest burial grounds, originally known as the Methodist, with about 16,000 visible graves, but records documenting up to 138,000 bodies. Its grim history of overburial and mismanagement, exposed in a 1989 scandal, has left it a desolate, overgrown site steeped in ghostly lore. For a 50-plus audience drawn to historical tragedy and paranormal intrigue, Eastern Cemetery's chilling tale of forgotten souls and restless spirits is unforgettable, but visitors are urged to respect its sacred grounds and avoid trespassing. Eastern Cemetery began as a progressive burial ground, one of the first in Louisville to enter people of diverse races, ethnicities, and religions. Former slaves, Freemasons, veterans from the Mexican-American War to Vietnam, and notable figures like boxer Rudell Stitch and educator William J. Simmons. Purchased in 1844, it expanded from 15 to over 30 acres by 1872, hosting Kentucky's first crematorium. In 1935, and a Richardsonian Romanesque wake house designed by Charles Clark and Arthur Loomis in 1891. However, its dark secret emerged in 1989, when a whistleblower revealed the Louisville Crematories and Cemetery Corporation had been reusing graves since at least 1858. Records marked old grave show family plots were resold, with bodies buried atop others, sometimes 8 deep, and medical cadavers from the University of Louisville dumped in mass graves, violating legal requirements. A 1989 New York Times article estimated 48,000 to 100,000 bodies were overburied in just 30,000 graves, leading to the cemetery's abandonment and legal limbo. Eastern Cemetery's tragic past fuels its paranormal reputation. Visitors report an oppressive atmosphere, as if the air carries the weight of forgotten souls. A 2016 Reddit post described a photo capturing a misty figure near a broken headstone, sparking debate over ghostly apparitions versus light effects. Paranormal investigators, like those from Kentucky Ghost Tours, have recorded EVPs of whispers saying "move" or "lost," believed to be spirits of the overburied, confused by their disturbed resting places. Shadowy figures, some in tattered clothing, others in military uniforms, are seen wandering among the sunken headstones, especially near the wooded northern edge, where cremation boxes and bones have been found scattered. A 2023 Courier Journal account noted volunteers hearing faint cries and footsteps while mowing the overgrown grounds, particularly near the 1957 crematorium building. The wake house, now dilapidated, is a hotspot, with reports of cold spots and doors creaking open at night. A 2024 TripAdvisor review described a tour guide sharing tales of a spectral woman in white, possibly a pauper's widow, lingering near the veterans section. The cemetery's proximity to Cave Hill, separated by a 15-foot brick wall topped with razor wire, adds to its eerie contrast, orderly beauty next to chaotic neglect. Since its abandonment in 1989, Eastern Cemetery has relied on veterans, Dismas Charities, and the Friends of Eastern Cemetery, a non-profit formed in 2013 for maintenance. Volunteers like Andy Harpole have mowed the tall grass and cleared debris, while University of Louisville researchers, using drones and ground-penetrating radar, map the chaotic burials without disturbing the ground. A 2018 historical marker dedication honored figures like Charles Anderson Jr., Kentucky's first black legislator, and boxer Rudell Stitch, whose graves were recently marked. The cemetery is open to the public, but its paths are eroded, and headstones are often hidden by weeds. Visitors are urged to join guided tours, like those offered by Friends of Eastern Cemetery, and avoid after-hours visits due to vandalism risks. Why it captivates. Eastern Cemetery's hauntings are rooted in its verified history of overburial, exposed by a 1989 whistleblower and documented in court records and media like the New York Times. The sheer scale 100,000 plus bodies and 30,000 graves creates a palpable sense of unrest, amplified by EVPs, apparitions, and physical sensations reported by credible sources. For those over 50 who value historical reflection and moral reckoning, the cemetery's story of neglect and redemption, paired with its ghostly aura, is deeply compelling. The spirits of the overlooked paupers, veterans, and forgotten families seem to linger, seeking recognition. Visit with respect, but tread lightly. The ground holds more than it should. Bethlehem Academy. Tucked away at 2,460 South Johns Road in Hardin County, Kentucky, Bethlehem Academy, sometimes spelled with one H in historical records, is a grand federal-style mansion that whispers tales of education and eerie unrest. Built in 1818 by John L. Helm, who later became Kentucky's governor twice, this historic site was transformed in 1830 by the Sisters of Loretto into a boarding school for girls, one of the state's earliest Catholic academies. Operating until 1959, it housed up to 75 boarding and 25-day students, with a wing added in 1848 to accommodate its growth. Restored in 1981 and listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1988. As the Bethlehem Academy Historic District, it's now a private property, once listed for $2 million. For a 50-plus audience drawn to Kentucky's pioneer past and ghostly lore, Bethlehem Academy's history of devotion, tragedy, and spectral residence offers a chilling narrative that lingers like a fog over its grounds. Bethlehem Academy's story begins with John L. Helm, who sold 580 acres to Reverend Charles J. Cecil in 1831 for $2,240 to establish the school. The Sisters of Loretto, known for their educational mission, turned the Helm Mansion into a hub for girls' education, teaching grades through high school in a region still shaped by frontier life. The Academy's closure in 1959 followed declining enrollment, and years of neglect left the mansion vulnerable to vandals. Its 1981 restoration preserved its arched windows, grand staircase, and period charm, but whispers of its past persist. Local lore, shared on a 2009 Flickr post, speaks of a young student who died tragically, possibly from illness or an accident in the 1800s, her spirit now tied to the mansion. Another tale, unverified but persistent, involves an enslaved worker or nun who perished during the school's early years, perhaps in the added wing, her sorrow etched into the walls. The nearby Casey Cemetery, known as the Gates of Hell, just miles away, amplifies the area's haunted reputation. Bethlehem Academy's paranormal activity is subtle yet unsettling, as noted in local accounts and paranormal circles. Visitors report an eerie stillness, broken by faint giggles or sobs from empty classrooms, believed to be the ghost of the young student. A 2009 Flickr user, whose father's farm adjoined the property, recounted childhood tales of a lady in white, seen in the upper windows, possibly a Sister of Loretto or the student spirit. Paranormal investigators, though limited by the property's private status, have captured EVPs of whispers saying "stay or learn," as shared in a 2015 Kentucky Haunted Houses forum. Cold spots and flickering lights are common in the 1848 wing, where the air feels heavy, as if weighted by loss. A 2023 Reddit thread described a hiker near St. John's Road seeing a shadowy figure in a long dress vanish near the mansion's gate, despite no one being present. The attic, rarely accessed, is a hotspot with reports of footsteps and a child's laughter chilling even skeptics. The mansion's isolation no-cell service, surrounded by fields, heightens its mystique, with locals warning against trespassing due to both spiritual and legal risks. The nearby slave cemetery, undocumented but rumored, adds to the sense of unresolved grief. Today, Bethlehem Academy is private property, not open for public tours, though its historical significance is marked by a Kentucky Historical Society sign. Marker 1740th. Its restored interior's hardwood floors, period fireplaces, and high ceilings are preserved, but access is restricted, as noted on Location Shop. Occasional events, like historical reenactments, may allow limited visits, but details are scarce. The surrounding Hardin County landscape, with sites like Fort Sands and the Elizabethtown Courthouse, adds context to its historical weight. Visitors are urged to respect the no trespassing signs in view from St. John's Road, as the property is monitored. Why it captivating? Bethlehem Academy's hauntings are grounded in its verified history, John L. Helm's ownership, the Sisters of Loretto's mission, and its 1959 closure are documented in records like the Kentucky Historical Society. Paranormal reports, though anecdotal, are consistent across local lore and online accounts, with EVPs and apparitions adding credibility. For those over 50 who cherish Kentucky's Catholic heritage and its darker undercurrents, the mansion's blend of educational legacy and ghostly presence is compelling. The spirits of a lost student and others seem to linger, guarding their former home. View from afar, but listen closely. The whispers of Bethlehem Academy may still carry lessons from the past. Pioneer Cemetery, tucked away at 202 South 4th Street in the heart of historic Bardstown. Kentucky Pioneer Cemetery, also known as Old Bardstown Pioneer Cemetery, is a hidden gem of early American history. Established in 1789, this small, serene burial ground is one of the oldest in Nelson County, nestled behind the old Nelson County Jail. Now the jail is in bed and breakfast, and beside a log schoolhouse. Its weathered chest tombs and gravestones, some dating to the late 1700s, mark the resting places of Revolutionary War. Veteran steamboat inventor John Fitch and other early settlers who shaped Bardstown, Kentucky's second oldest town. For a 50-plus audience drawn to frontier heritage and ghostly whispers, Pioneer Cemetery's blend of documented history and eerie paranormal activity offers a haunting journey into the past. But visitors are urged to respect its sacred grounds and avoid trespassing after hours. Founded just a year after Bardstown's incorporation in 1788, Pioneer Cemetery was set on land granted by the Virginia General Assembly for the county seat, then called Bairdstown. By the 1850s, it fell out of use as newer cemeteries like Bardstown City Cemetery emerged, leaving its 90 documented graves 59% photographed, 39% with GPS coordinates to weather time's neglect. Notable burials include John Fitch, who died in 1798, and Revolutionary War soldiers, their headstones etched with tales of valor, as noted on Find a Grave. Local lore, shared in a 2013 Yelp review, describes the cemetery as extremely old and hidden, with many gravestones illegible or unmarked, hinting at forgotten souls. The cemetery's proximity to the 1,819 Old Nelson County Jail, a site of executions and imprisonment, fuels its haunted reputation. A persistent legend speaks of a young woman, possibly a prisoner's wife or a settler's daughter, who died, tragically perhaps by accident or foul play near the jail, her spirit now tied to the cemetery. Another tale, unverified but recounted by Kentucky Haunted Houses in 2018, involves a Revolutionary War soldier whose restless spirit lingers, angered by desecration of his grave during 19th century vandalism. The cemetery's location near the Civil War Museum and my old Kentucky home state park, both steeped in history, adds to its spectral aura. Pioneer Cemetery's paranormal activity is subtle but chilling, as reported by visitors and local investigators. A 2023 Yelp review noted an eerie feeling despite the cemetery's well-kept landscaping, with visitors hearing faint whispers or footsteps on the cobblestone path leading from the Wilderness Road. Paranormal groups, like the Bluegrass Ghost Hunters, have captured EVPs of voices saying, "Leave or my land," believed to be settlers or soldiers guarding their resting place. A 2024 TripAdvisor post described a nighttime tour where a guest's flashlight flickered and a shadowy figure in a tricorn hat appeared near a chest tomb, vanishing when approached. The cemetery's small size, bounded by South 4th Street, West John Fitch Avenue, Mulberry Alley, and CS-1150 amplifies its oppressive atmosphere. A 2019 Reddit thread recounted a visitor seeing a woman in a long dress near the log schoolhouse, her face obscured, only to find no one there. Cold spots and sudden breezes, even on still summer nights, are common, particularly near John Fitch's grave, where some feel a hand on their shoulder. The jail's proximity adds to the unease, with reports of chains rattling or cries echoing from its direction as if spirits cross between the sites. Maintained by the city of Bardstown, Pioneer Cemetery is open to the public during daylight hours, as noted on MapQuest, with its cobblestone steps and hand-hewn stones preserved for historical tours. The Kentucky Historical Society's Adopt a Cemetery program supports its upkeep, with volunteers ensuring the grounds remain tidy despite their age. Visitors can explore as part of Bardstown's historical tours, offered through www.visitbardstown.com, often paired with stops at the Oscar Getz Museum of Whiskey History or my old Kentucky home. The cemetery lacks a name marker, making it a hidden gem, but its historical significance is undeniable, with a marker designating it as a pioneer cemetery. Respect is paramount, no trespassing after dark, as the area is monitored to prevent vandalism. Why it captivates. Pioneer Cemetery's hauntings are rooted in its verified history established in 1789. It holds the graves of documented figures like John Fitch, as confirmed by Find a Grave. Paranormal reports, from EVPs to apparitions, are consistent across visitor accounts and local lore, lending authenticity despite unverified tales like the woman's death. For those over 50 who cherish America's frontier roots and subtle scares, the cemetery's blend of historical gravitas and ghostly presence is mesmerizing. The spirits of settlers and soldiers seem to linger, their stories etched in weathered stone. Visit by day, but tread softly, the pioneers of Bardstown may still be watching.